Anyone need any bit of number 6 done? 7? 7, yes. Right, okay. So, any part, all parts?
Just 1 and 2.
1 and 2, right, okay. So here we go. And then there's a line drawn parallel to that side. Okay, so 8, 5, 8, 4. Okay, so basically it's like the diagram I showed you yesterday, except it's on its side, right? Okay, and it's basically all you do is set up a proportion. The small bit is to, what did you say over? What was that over? A over, what did you put it over? 8 equals 4 over 5. Is that right? That's all.
4 over 8 equals 5 over 8.
4 over 4. Yeah, that's fine. That's the exact same thing. She said 4 over 8. You can do it lots of different ways. 4 over 8 equals 5 over 8. Because she did the small bit is to the big bit as the small bit is to the big bit. The exact same answer. Right? I did big bit over big bit equals small bit over small bit. Same thing. You can do it any way you want. Right? Okay, cross multiply. A by 5 is 5a. 4 by 8 is 32. And then divide each side by 5. And you'll get a is equal to 6.4. Is that okay? Is that alright? Yes.
I did 4 over 8 equals 8 over 5.
Okay, no, right, okay, I have a problem. Right, okay, because you know the way you did 4 is the small bit over a, so you did the small bit to the big bit, yeah? Okay, so this is the small is to the big, right? Okay, but here 8 is the big bit, isn't it? So you did small over big equals big over small. It has to be consistent. So it has to be small over big equals small over big.
And could you do this? Big over small equals big over small.
Yeah, so you should have went a over 4 equals 8 over 5. And then you would have got the right answer. They have to be consistent. So if you do big over small, you must always do big over small. If you do small over big, you must always do small over big.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did small over big and then you did big over small, which is the most common mistake, but you have to be consistent. So if you do small over big, the other side has to be small over big. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Part 2, will I just do a second one just to be sure? Okay, so for the second one then, okay, it's like so. Okay, there's my parallel lines. So this is 12, this is 3, this is 14, this is x. Right, someone call out a fraction to me. X over 14 equals, yeah, I think that's a 3 bad writing. Actually, it's actually a 5. Sorry. Right, okay. So blind and bad writing. So 5 over 12. Is that okay, girls? So small over big equals small over big. Right? Now you could have written that lots of different ways. You can do big over big equals small over small. Right? Okay, you can mix it up any way at all, as long as it's consistent. Right? As long as setting up each fraction is the matching lines. Cross multiply, you get 12x is equal to 70, and then divide each side by 12, and you'll get x is equal to 5.83. That'll do me. Thank you. Are we happy with that? Everyone happy with that? Happy with number 7? Will I do the last part or is it okay? Do it? Or it's okay? It's okay? Right, 8, do it. Right, okay, so number 8 is a triangle. Okay, and they drew it up the right way for me this time, not to be confusing me. Okay, so I have, they didn't put in any measurements, they just put in any letters. E to C, and they said AD is to DB, so AD is to DB as 2 is to 1. Is that right? AE is 14, A to E is 14, and it says find EC. So look, I'll call that X. Okay? Yeah. No, so it's AD over DB equals 2 over 1. So you can say AD is 2 and DB is 1. Is that right? And then you set it up and cross multiply. Are we okay? Right, 9, anyone? You probably have the same mistake in 9, do you? Right, okay, so in 9 it goes XQ over QZ or equals 5 over 3. So in your diagram you can say that XQ measures 5 and QZ measures 3. Is that okay? Right, anyone need me to do it out? 10? 11? 12? All good. Right, okay. I'll keep going, so, yeah. Okay, so the next section is circle theorems. I know I'm flying through this, girls, but it's really just facts that aren't going to jump into your head. You need to learn them, okay? So the next thing is circle theorems, right? Okay, so a theorem is something you can prove. We will, in anyone who did junior cert higher level, you had to learn off the theorems, as you had to learn off how to prove them. For LibCert ordinary level, there's no theorems. You'll never have to learn you'll never be asked to prove them, but you may be asked what's a theorem, and a theorem is something you can prove, right? Okay, is that alright? So a theorem is something you can prove, right? As in, I can prove the 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. Just for future reference, I'll put all these down in a while, but an axiom is something you accept to be true. As in, 2 plus 2 is 4 is an axiom. Someone told you that, someone decided that 100,000 years ago, right? Okay, and we all accept it as a fact, don't we? 2 and 2 is 4, agreed? Right, I can't prove 2 and 2 is 4, right? Okay, but someone told me 2 and 2 is 4, and I accept that to be true. That's called an axiom. It's a fact that you accept to be true, okay? Whereas a theorem is something you can prove. I'll give you all those definitions near the end of the chapter because you need to know what they are, and they have been asked, okay? So circle theorems, points about theorems, okay? The angle, so the first fact is the angle in a semicircle is a right angle. Right angle, so is 90 degrees, right? Okay. So if you have a circle with a center and you have a diameter, remember a diameter goes through the center from one side of the circle to the other. Okay, so it goes through the center. You all know what a diameter is, yeah? Okay, so if you draw any angle in a semicircle, so if you, now it has to be at the circle. So you draw a line to the circle, right? And then you draw the line to the other end of the diameter. That's a semicircle when there's a diameter. This angle here is 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm just going to draw, you just draw the one to your notes. I'm just going to draw a few more, right? Okay, so if I have a semicircle and I draw a line from one end to the circle and drawing it to the other end, that's a right angle. Okay, only draw one now. This is me just drawing, so sorry, that's not much of a semicircle. Okay, so a semicircle it's split by a diameter, goes through the centre, and it doesn't matter which direction you go, as long as the angle is sitting on a diameter, it's a right angle. Is that okay? Right, you accept that as a fact. This is true. Right, okay. Just be careful, girls. Right, the angle, if you have a semicircle, the angle must be at the circle. Right, as in it can't be there. Right, it must go right up to the circle and hit the circle and come back to the other end. Is that okay? Are we okay with that fact? Right, so it is a right angle, it is 90 degrees. Right, okay, right, a tangent. Do you know what a tangent is? I think I mentioned them before. Yeah, it hits the circle at one point only. Intersects the circle at one point only. Right, it hits the circle at one point only, and at the point of contact, the tangent makes a right angle with the radius. Yeah, sorry, Friday, heading for the door. At the point of contact, the tangent makes a right angle with the radius. With the radius. Okay, so what we have is a circle. Why is that not me too far over? Can I move this up? Have you it down? Okay, so what I mean is, right, okay, if you have a circle, right, a tangent is a line that hits the circle at one point only. So this is a tangent. Okay, so there's one point of contact here. Is that right? Okay, and at the point of contact, girls, if you were to draw a radius at that point of contact, right, it makes right angles. Is that okay? Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Right, okay, and then, right, another point of fact is, right, a perpendicular from the centre of a circle cuts a chord. Perpendicular to a chord bisects Okay, I've a bit of explaining to do with this one. Okay, so I'll leave you write it, then I'll explain. Right, are we good to listen to the explanation? So a chord, girls, so you have a circle, right? Okay, what a chord is it's a line that goes from one, hits the circle, goes from one side of the circle to the other, but it doesn't go through the centre, right? Because if it goes through the centre, what's it called? If that line went through the centre, it'd be called a diameter. Okay, so a chord goes from one side of the circle to the other, but it doesn't go through the centre, so this is called a chord. Okay, so again, just draw the one, but look, that's a chord, right? Okay, there's another chord, right? Okay, there's another chord, right? Okay, there's another chord. As long as it goes from one side of the circle to the other, but it doesn't go through the centre. Okay, so lots of different chords there. Is that alright? So if we have the centre of the circle and we draw a perpendicular line, so perpendicular line means it hits the chord at right angles. So if you draw a line from the centre to the chord and it makes right angles, right? So you did that on purpose. So you drew a line from the centre to the chord to make a right angle. It bisects the chord. What does bisect mean? Cuts it in half. So look, the measure of this side of the line is equal to the measure of this side of the line. Okay, so to put two little marks on it to say they measure the same. Okay, so if you have a chord, you draw a perpendicular, right? Okay, it bisects the chord, as in it cuts the chord into two equal parts, right? Is that okay? Right, so, and it works the other way also. So if you have a circle and you have a chord, right, okay, and you bisect that chord, okay, so you get the midpoint of that chord, you cut it in half, and you draw a line through the circle, through the centre, it's perpendicular. Okay, so it works both ways, as in if you draw a perpendicular, it'll cut the line in two. If you cut the line in two and draw a line through the centre, it's a perpendicular. Okay, so it works both ways. Is that okay? That's a fact that will not jump into your head, you have to put it there. Okay, right? Okay, and the last fact we need to know about a circle is give me a second. If two circles intersect at one point only, the two centres, so you have two circles, so you have a centre of each circle, the two centres and the point of contact are collinear. Point of contact are collinear. Does anyone know what collinear means? What does linear mean? Line. Right, collinear means there's 3 points there. There's the centre of one circle, centre of another circle, and the point of contact, and they're all on the same line. So collinear means on the same line. So linear means a line, right? Co means together, so they're together on the same line. Okay? So there's 3 points. There's the centre of one circle, centre of another circle, and a point of contact, and they all make a straight line. Okay? So I'll try and draw that. Okay? So if you have a circle, right? Okay? And you have a second circle, right? Okay? And they intersect at one point only. So they just touch. Right? So they just touch there. So they only touch at one point, right? And there's the center of the other circle. Those three, you can draw a line through those 3 points, right? They make a perfect straight line. Okay? So if you have 2 circles, each with a center, and they touch off, each circle touches off each other, 1 point only, there's 1 point of contact, right? Those 3 points make a line. Okay? It could be, right, sometimes it is that the smaller, so there's the bigger circle, right? The smaller circle might be in here, right? And it touches at 1 point only. So the smaller circle, it could be on the inside, right? They intersect at 1 point only, and then the center of the small circle, the center of the big circle, and the point of contact will make a straight line. Okay, that's not very good. Okay, so the 2 centers and the point of contact will make a straight line. Right? Are we good with that? Okay, right, and example, I'm just going to do a quick example because how the hell could we be asked stuff like this? Okay, if you were asked, given this diagram, I'm going to go for time. Good, yeah. I want to get my construction done. Right, there we have that. Okay, and there's that. And it tells me this is 43. And then it says, center, write down OCA. So write down this OCA, write down that. So I'm putting an A in that. So tell me what A is. ACB, write me down this one. B, and then write me down this one, OBC. Okay, so A, B and C, is that alright? I'm going to draw out that diagram again, and I'm going to draw it a lot bigger. Right, okay? So, so example, find A, B, C. Sorry. So example. And the question is find A, B, C. Right, I'm drawing out the same diagram again, except I'm drawing it a lot bigger because I want to do lots of writing on it. Okay, right, so there's my circle. There's A. Right, so when you get a circle, girls, right, okay, mark all the radii, right, because always when you get a circle, you'll nearly be always looking at an isosceles triangle. So you should mark all the radii. So remember, a radius goes from the center to the circle. So look, that's a radius, isn't it? Goes from the center to the circle. That's a radius, agreed? And that's a radius. Agree? Right, okay. The triangles in a triangle, or sorry, I don't need that. This is what kind of a, see this triangle here on the left hand side, right? What kind of a triangle is that? It's an isosceles triangle, isn't it? because that's a radii and that's a radii, so they're equal. Agreed? So if it's an isosceles triangle, there's two equal angles. So which angle is equal? It's not the one between the two sides, so this one up here is 43 degrees. Agreed? Okay, so that means A is equal to 43. Okay? Now, right, look at the big triangle. Pretend you can't see the green lines. So look at the big triangle. So look at the big triangle. That's a fact we just learned. What is it? That the angle, that's the angle in a semicircle, isn't it? Because that's a diameter, right, and that's at the circle. So that angle up there is what? 90 degrees, isn't it? Right, it's split into A and B. Agreed? I've just figured out that A is 43. So how'll I figure out what 90 is? Or what B is? What is it? 90 take away 43, isn't it? Because the whole angle is 90 degrees. So it's 90 take away 43, which would be 47 degrees. Good with that? Okay, so that one up here is 47. So this one is 43. Together they make 90. And then looking at the triangle, right, on the right side, again, it's an isosceles triangle again, isn't it? Because that's a radius and that's a radius. Agreed? It's another isosceles triangle. So that means if it's got two equal sides, it's got two equal angles, and it's never the one between the two equal sides, it's always the other two that are equal. So that means C is equal to 47 degrees. Agreed?
Would you be able to just add up the rest of them and minus 180?
Add up the rest of them. You could. Yeah, you could go 43, 90 and take it away from 180. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. But my point about this is when you get one of these as circles and you have to try and figure out angles, mark all the radii, because you're going to end up in an isosceles triangle in there if there's radii. Yes.
You know, if you like added the 47 and the 90 and took that away from 180,
Yeah, you add 43 and the 90 and take it away from 180.
so you wouldn't add the 40 and then you know the angle on the right, is
Yeah.
that right angle triangle?
Yeah, this one up here is 90. This one over here is 43. So you could add 90 and 43 and take it away from 180. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that alright?
But you couldn't do you know the small triangle on the right?
Small triangle on the right.
Yeah, you couldn't add 47 and then the right angle there 90.
There's no right angle in that triangle though.
Okay.
The right angle is in the big triangle. That's the right angle.
Okay.
So there's no right angle. So you're talking about this small triangle over here.
Yeah.
There's no right angle in that. What you could do is you could do 43 and 43, take it away from 180 and figure out that angle. Then you could subtract that angle from 180 and figure out that angle. And then you could figure it out, couldn't you? As in you could add that angle, and take it away from 180. There's more than one way to do it, but you will never get there if you don't spot the isosceles triangles. At least one of them to start with. You ain't going to get there. Is that right? So when you see a circle with radii in it, mark or see a circle with angles in it, mark in the radii. Right? And you know the angle in a semicircle is equal to 90 degrees. If a circle comes up with degrees in it, they'll expect you to know that fact because so the radii and the angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees and you'll be able to solve whatever comes at you. Okay? Is that right? Okay, I'm going to give you a few of these for homework before I do my construction. So page 341 to 342. Let's do 1 to 10, except number 2 because I just did it. Sorry, still magnified it. So 341 to 342, 1 to 10, except number 2, and I'm going to go on and do my construction now. Okay. Yes.
From the center to where the triangle point is, that would be 10 to this
No, no, no. It's just, if that line wasn't there, right, you pretend that line wasn't there, then the whole angle at the top is 90 degrees, because that's the angle in a semicircle. That was the first fact we wrote down today. The angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. And then they split the 90 degree angle in two, and you know this bit is 43, so 43 from 90 leaves 47. So that's where that came from. Okay? Right. Yes. The small ones would be, yeah. Yeah, if there's radii, they would be, yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. My construction, so for today, very quickly, I'd say, how am I going? Actually, I'm not going to have time, am I? Right, I might just put up the thing on YouTube and you might go over it yourself. Right, we're still drawing a triangle. It's a triangle with RHS. So you're going to be constructing a triangle given RHS. So it's going to be a right angle triangle, and you're given the right angle, you're given the length of the hypotenuse, and you're given the length of another side. Okay, so I'll put up the clip from YouTube onto Teams, and you might have a look at it and a little practice. Okay, right, so it's a right angle, a hypotenuse, and a side. Okay, right, will you clean your tables before you go, please? Right, bye. Have a nice day. Yeah, no bother.
So I'm just struggling so much. Do you know of any like resource classes or anything I could go to?
Yeah, I do a resource class for 6 years on when is it? Monday evening at 2:25.
Could I
So
say
come
go?
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I literally I know nothing like, and I'm so.
it's getting on top of you now at the moment because
Everything,
you've
like,
missed
every
so
hour
much.
I talked of everything.
Yeah, you've missed so much or whatever. So I would say, right, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
The pre is going to be an absolute disaster for you, right? Okay?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay? Leave it be a disaster. Do your best. Do what you
Yeah.
can with it. Leave it be a disaster, and we'll
Yeah.
fix it afterwards, because afterwards, like, I'm going to have no revision done before the
Yeah.
pre.
No, I
So
don't-
afterwards, it's going to be revise, and it'll be all the exam questions, and it'll hit home then, Rachel. Okay?
Because I need an O3 like to get, and like I'm doing so bad.
An O3.
Yeah.
That's quite high.
I know, and
Right. Look, don't panic.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. Right. Okay. Just
For now, will I just do exam questions? Up and
yeah.
down?
Just do exam
Yeah.
questions and just do your best. Look,
Yeah.
and Rachel, the pre is going to be an absolute disaster for you.
Yeah.
So get that into your head.
I know
And
if I can.
don't be disappointed with it, and don't
Yeah.
be, you know, just know, and it's going to be, you're going to be sitting inside, like it's going to be like reading a foreign language.
Yeah.
Okay, I know it is,
Try.
because we've no exam questions done,
Yeah.
you know, we've no revision done.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so, and this is what happens every year.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't feel like you're the only one, because
Yeah.
this happens to loads of people every year.
Because the
Okay?
trees now, I know, like in everything, like I'm just gonna.
Yeah, and look,
Yeah.
if you were going to do fine in the pre, sure wouldn't we give you the real thing and take the rest of the year off.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pre, it's okay that they're a disaster.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think I was gonna try it grinds, but if I can do resource here, it'd be just
Yeah,
handier.
no, listen, don't
Yeah.
waste the grinds on the maths, because I
Yeah.
think what you really need is, you need the exam questions and the revision, because the first time round you probably didn't listen anyway,
Yeah.
do you know, so.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I should have
Yeah.
put in a lot more effort.
No, but that's fine, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Second time round, everything's going to make a lot more sense, and it'll be like, oh God, that's what she was talking
I think
about.
it's the, well, I understand it in class, but when I go through it myself then and the questions and everything.
That's practice,
Yeah.
and we practice
Yeah.
no exam questions, so, right, I just
Yeah.
want you to get into your head, pre, it's going to be disaster,
Disaster.
you're going to come out with 15%, you know that,
Yeah.
right, that's what's going to happen,
Yeah.
right?
Even
Okay.
in 04 even just,
Yeah,
I need
So-
something around that. Like,
Yeah. so you're going to come out with 15% in the pre,
Yeah.
right, expect it, just, now, that's not a reason to do nothing, do your best, go in.
Yeah, I will just-
Yeah, because the timing wise, and you want to be
Yeah.
able to kind of figure out.
See what it's like to
Yeah,
send it anyway.
yeah, so you need to know a bit, like, so
Yeah.
do as much as you can, but
Yeah.
sure, don't stress it. You
Yeah,
will
thank
come
you.
out with 15%
Yeah.
and we'll fix it afterwards,
And
and
I'll
it'll be
send how
fine.
much a resource. what
Yeah,
time is it?
25 plus 2
One
on
more.
it, no, it is, 225 in
And
one
just,
day.
what did you just,
I have, who I have in it at the moment is Lily and Anya,
yeah,
and they're in the same class, so the last few weeks I have been doing what they're doing in class, because they've asked me to go over
Yeah.
stuff they did in class,
yeah,
but when I have someone from a different class, I'm going to pick an exam question
yeah, perfect. 'Cause like, even
and
on
do
my
an
picture,
exam
I was
question,
like,
or even
yeah.
pick a topic and revise it,
Yeah,
you know,
perfect.
pick one thing and revise it, so even if
Yeah.
we learn one thing,
Yeah.
okay, so,
Just something so I could do,
yeah, don't stress it,
Yeah,
right,
perfect,
don't
yeah.
stress it, it's a big
Thank you.
disaster, but it'll be fine. Hi. You can take 20 minutes if you want. I won't. I have to go to the bathroom. Wait ages.
Big job.
It is a big job. I was saying to John, I said I can't wait to get my electric or automated chair, because stupid things like going to the bathroom, it will take me 5 minutes instead of 25 minutes. And yeah. And coming in from the car in the morning, and by the time I get here, like this morning I got all the way to the bottom of the ramp here, and I can get up that ramp, but I was so wrecked from getting over the door or whatever, I was like, I can't go up this ramp, so I had to take a rest down at the bottom of the, so I was sitting there, if anyone saw me, I was just sitting at the bottom of the ramp, kind of, just take a rest for a minute.
Need to do that.
No. Another week. Yeah, so we could be all in the pub tonight.
We'll all be dancing.
Yeah, the night clubs.
I hope we get there this weekend some stage. It'll be great.
Yeah.
And not having to go home, just clap and then dance. Do you
And,
know
yeah,
how early you go? I want to do.
anyhow, it's like, yeah, it's too early to go to bed, but you always go to bed when you come in from the pub.
Yeah, but I always put my pajamas on. I kind of feel like, oh God, like the night is wasted.
Yeah. It's true.
Anyway, well, let's see. Enjoy the weekend.
You
guys.
too.
Have a good weekend. between patterns, sequences, series, I just use all the words all the time. I don't. No,
Do I know the difference?
Yeah,
The series has the plus in it.
series.
Yeah.
So patterns and sequences are the same word.
Yeah.
They call the chapter patterns and sequences.
Do they?
Yeah. In the third year.
Same fucking thing, isn't it?
So I was like going, I just use the words whatever way I want.
I have to give up now. But
What?
know that email we got from Andrew telling us to walk on the first, I know it doesn't apply to me, but you know, to keep an eye on the first year cargo. Like, who the fuck is he to tell us that? And the reports, and who the fuck is he to tell us to fill out reports?
I came in there and Jackie came in there, so I don't do that. I can't do that. She's here, so I use back to my life. That's what you do now.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was,
Is he going for the big job?
yeah, I think so. Are we trying to make a name for ourselves? He won't go for it.
He wouldn't go.
Oh.
You think if he was, he'd sure get down for advice.
Yeah, but like, do you know, so like that means like nobody internally is going to go for it.
That's fine. I think it's better. And
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that too, like, but
I think someone internally would be too. I can't imagine who would ever go for it anyway. First one. Why is Susanna here?
say that again.
Why is Suzanne here? What are you saying?
Because they said it was because she's in charge of policies and they're coaching her for the next DP thing, I'd say, because it was about that there's going to be a unit in the new school, a special class, like, so you're not allowed to call them units anymore, so a special class for autism, like, so she wanted to know what they were like, oh, we're planning going forward, like, so what do we need to do and what kind of staff training should we give and whatever. So I was there. There's no point giving staff training about autism and whatever, because nobody ever listens to those things until there's a person sitting in front of you with the condition, and then you want to know all that stuff. I said, so there's no point like telling us about autism like in a month's time, like, because so I was there. What would be interesting to people though is how the unit works and how the kids, how they integrate into mainstream, and is there someone in the unit all the time, and you know, or I keep calling it a unit, but you know what I mean. And I said I think that'd be interesting to know, because teachers will need to know where these kids come from and where they go after when they're finished their class, where they have to go back to, and you know, and are they allowed miss their class and whatever if they're having a meltdown or whatever, like, and so that would be interesting. I think people would kind of appreciate that, like, you know, because chances are also like there might be an SNA in our class going forward. Like, I've never had an SNA in my class, have you?
When my teacher practice.
Yeah, so like that'd be a new experience for me anyway. Like,
Well, in that school, like, maybe it's different. They literally sat down and were like a student, so they didn't.
Yeah, but like I think you're supposed to kind of interact with them and kind of, well, not before the class and saying, oh, tomorrow we'll need A, B, and C, so can you make sure?
It depends, I suppose, if they're dealing with one or more.
Yeah, you see, that's it. Yeah, and yeah, stuff like that though. I was in kind
And was
of.
she only coming to that meeting, or is she coming to everyone?
No, she just coming to that meeting. And so that was just the organisation. I said, like, I think people would be interested to hear how it's organised and whatever, but I said,
Sure, they probably don't know that.
yeah, and I don't think telling people about autism and
And I
all
think
the
it's,
special disabilities, because people don't listen to that unless, like, I did that course in Mary I, and I didn't listen to it, but when someone comes and sits in front of me, I'll go.
And you kind of need to be specific to the person, because it's very broad anyway.
Yeah, like autism is so different for every child, like, so, yeah.
So like what would be more beneficial probably is like the parents giving us a sheet explaining how it affects their
Yeah,
child.
and what they
And
need,
then-
what their child's needs are and whatever. Yeah, but so yeah, that's what that was about, and it was about, and then Suzanne said something about the meeting. They're talking about timetabling, and you know, would we be interested in being kind of full time in the learning support, like, because they need full time people for the special classes, like, and you know, and would we be interested to think about it and let them know and whatever, and then Suzanne said something about, you know, I'm always giving out about that learning sport class because it's a stupid waste of time and we do nothing, and Harry hasn't even turned up for the last 2 weeks. But then Suzanne threw it out there, oh, what about this meeting and whatever, and Claire kind of said, oh, I think you're supposed to have it, the Department of Education say you're supposed to have a thing, and Harry went on then about how important it was and how it was great for the testing and how it was very useful and blah blah blah, and I sat here with my mouth open, but nobody could see my mouth was open because I had a mask on, but I was like, are you fucking real? I was like, my blood was boiling because I couldn't even speak because I was there, because I didn't want to be negative, the negative one in the corner going, oh, it's stupid, this is shit, like, and you know, but I told Suzanne afterwards, my feelings on the meeting are, it's a waste of 40 minutes. That
She only gets to leave early and it's early.
yeah, that's it. But as I say, she hasn't turned up since Christmas anyway.
Yeah, she comes home.
Yeah, me and Claire showed up like and went, what did we do? And you know, and me and Claire had a chat about, you know, like I was saying to Claire, like I wouldn't mind doing an extra learning sport class for someone instead of this meeting, because I always feel like I'm Dawson.
Yeah.
And I like to tick my boxes, you know, so, but yeah, so sure, that's what she said. Then I was like, and
even if you were
and he gave her a fucking promotion, and I was like, are you really sitting there saying that?
Yeah, I was going to give out, it wasn't about that. I just popped into my head there when you said something. But anyway.
But you opened a can of worms
Oh,
there for
no,
me.
what I wanted to give out. Oh, Kira has her line in did you hear her? She goes, I was his cooperation teacher. I'd say, how many people has she said that to? I said, there's her line after explaining the Lincoln's principle. I was his cooperation teacher, now he's a VP. As in, like, you know, he passed me, you know, like, sure, she was on a different route, like, she never wanted to be there, but that's what she's saying to people now.
Yeah, no, that's great, like, yeah, but sure, when Aoife Hen was taking her classes, she fucked off and went off and collected her children, like.
Yeah.
Left Aoife doing extra classes that she wasn't even down for. Fuck's sake. That
I
moment.
can just imagine that, as you see, Jared has become a ruse of people who know him, so I'm sure people are saying, oh,
Yeah. And yeah, that's what
his cooperation teacher.
yeah.
And that was him. Like, in a giving out way, not in a, like,
Yeah, yeah.
and when she said it, I was like, oh, that's not the first time you said that. You didn't say that all around. There's no idea.
Stupid.
Like,
She's so theirs.
I was like, oh, I don't really want to talk about their things this morning. So exciting.
Yeah. And yeah, she said to me again about coming out.
Go on, have you a new date?
No. I said, oh yeah, we must
I know.
wheel away as quick as I can. Oh yeah, we
You know
must.
what I realised? I never found out Rachel's going to labour story. So,
Oh yeah, you met her, sure. I must
I texted
buy
her
a
to see
present
if
for
we
the
were
baby
there.
and post it and stuff.
I texted her to see was she free for a call at lunchtime, but she hasn't replied.
Oh yeah, we haven't heard the whole labour story.
Yeah, no, not the incident, the fact that she was swept off for
Yeah, she must have pure panic, like.
She can't run. Now, I think Hazel was in on Wednesday. She had some farms to do with Michael. She did say hello. But she was saying, she was talking to Rachel she was in the car and they were talking about what to put in the bag. And I was like, I wonder if the bag just packed, and then was she just talking about it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, Beckett. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. I had my bag packed at 30 weeks, but I had baby grows and nappies and loads of stuff for the babies in it, like, but no stuff for me, like.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying they were just massive.
Yeah, so I ended up in the hospital, like, with nothing for myself and a bag of nappies and baby grows, and they were in incubators, so they weren't wearing baby grows, and they were too small for nappies, like, so they were wearing special preemie nappies, like, so I was like, oh well, might as well bring this bag home, John, I don't think I need it.
That was like my sister-in-law, she went 8 weeks early, and her husband, her birthday, we had to did nothing, she got back and nothing done anyway, went to the shop and bought a package of nappies. She bought a size 4 nappies, she had to keep loading.
Yeah, you put on a 4-year-old, like. Well, not a 4-year-old, but. I think that's the way me and John were though. Yeah, we just hadn't bogged what was going on around us. It's like, it's grand though. You get out the other side and then you go, oh yeah, God, all that happened. That was terrible. So, I'm sure Rachel was, she's probably busy now.
Probably is, but I said that, I said if you're not too busy, you can be with Shane. First one, one's fine and one that's good. You know, you have time.
But you don't realise you have time until. I didn't have time because there was, yeah.
But I used to watch, I watched all of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. But you're basically stuck to the couch though because you're feeding and changing and.
Well, I used to get the dinner made and watching
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
watch television and
Yeah.
3 hours, 4 hours.
And you could stare into the cottage then. You could do that just sit in the couch and go, oh yeah, look, are they, you know, for the first few days you're like, are they asleep? Are they asleep? Are they breathing? Is he breathing? Yeah. And like.
Reading the big one. If they sleep, if they don't sleep, you're like, okay, if they're sleeping, you're like, they just.
Would you ever go to sleep and then when they're sleeping, are they breathing? They'll sleep a long time, should I wake them?